Hello, my name is Kevin Wallhead and I'm a member of Harding House Cooperative here in Lincoln. Harding House is a cooperative gallery run by 11 artists, local artists who produce work in the gallery. I must say, since the recession started, we've been rather successful really. I think people have been a bit more concerning about what they buy and looking at things that they'll cherish and keep for a long time. I think because we're on the main tourist trail in Lincoln, on Steep Hill here, we do pick up a lot of the tourist trade, whereas a lot of galleries throughout the country aren't so lucky. We seem to be getting a lot more foreign tourists because the pound's been so low. So I think altogether we've done very well since the recession started.
Good morning, my name is Edward Ash and I'm the proprietor at the Aviation Art Studio. The studio specialises, as you'd expect from its title, from aviation, and this is my 14th year. Next year will be my last year actually in Lincoln, although the business will transfer primarily to the web, because I reach a certain age next year, which means I don't have to work every day, which will be pleasant. Now, with the business being quite a specialist area, I don't suffer the peaks and troughs that other businesses tend to suffer. Although generally speaking, I suppose I'm affected like everybody else by the general trends. This last month of June, in fact, was actually up 17%, which is quite unusual. That's based on my averages, which I'm quite good at keeping figures, so that's based on the 14-year average. So that by any measure isn't bad. Having said that, April was diabolical. So there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's very difficult to sort of set trends and say what you expect to do, because also the turnover is not huge. So a couple of bad weeks and you're kiboshed. Equally, if somebody were to come in and buy a nice original, or nice for me anyway, my figures would be skewed the other way. So it's quite difficult to say. Overall, I think the general feeling from most people in this area is that they're all feeling the pinch a little bit. But we won the award, or Steep Hill won an award for one of the best streets in the country based on certain criteria. We're hoping that will bring in quite a few people once the holiday season really gets underway. I think generally the footfall is down. I'm not sure the Big Idea would acknowledge that, or the business improvement group, as they call themselves, would accede to that figures. I think we get lots of children on Steep Hill as they're doing today's surveys and so on, and of course they can skew the figures on footfall. But we do generally seem to be suffering from lack of visitors. Having said that, my wife and daughter were in York for a couple of days last week or the week before, and they said there that they were also down. There didn't seem to be an awful lot of people there particularly. So we can only see ourselves in isolation, but the same is probably true throughout the country, that everybody we know is struggling.
Hello, my name's Andrew McDonald. My job's a potter, and I'm lucky enough to run this workshop and shop on Steep Hill called the Pot Shop. I was lucky enough to be able to buy the shop this year, so I haven't been in this workshop for very long, but I've been doing pottery a long time. I was in my previous workshop 18 years, and I was doing it for 5 years before that, so I have been doing it for a long time. But as I said, this is a new venture with the shop, which has got a very visible shop front on Steep Hill, which is very important because it's a great display case for your work, and you're never quite sure who's going to come in and talk to you. I mean, I enjoy working here. The motivation for having a shop is not the motivation a businessman or a developer might have. The motivation is to make pottery. That's the most important thing, is the pottery. To sell an art object is difficult. You don't need to buy an art object. Times are tough, money's a stretch. You need a reason to buy a pot. But there's no there's no sort of secret pots in the shop which I just make and sell over and over again. You have to have, the throwing has to be a high standard, the glazes have to be good, intense colours, the decoration has to be lively, and it has to be competitively priced. There's no, you just have to keep working and working and working away at that, and eventually people will kind of realise what you're doing and hopefully like your work. The inspiration is artistic. The purpose for it isn't just as a manual labourer. The purpose for it is artistic. This sort of means of expression. And you know, this is 6 months. No, this is moved here in January. So just now the dust is settling and it's comfortable working here. Central heating, which your last workshop didn't have, and the lovely shop front onto Steep Hill.